Islam, peace and love. Just sending a shout out to all the Moors. All the Moors that are active, right? All the Moors that are active, all the Moors that have honor, respect for the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. All the Moors that are loyal and faithful to the principles that were laid down to them by their prophet for their earthly salvation. Their earthly salvation. It's becoming very obvious. It's becoming very obvious that it's now the time of the Moors. People might not really, but it's now the time of the Moors. And the only way, people could take this however they want, you know what I mean? But those in the know what's good. Those that aren't in the know are going to continue to suffer just how they're suffering right now. And we're not even talking about you can't buy food and stuff like that suffering. Because we're esoteric, not exoteric. The only way you're going to make it through is based on what Noble Drew Ali laid down. The only way. Dirty Moors are doing it. They're just corrupted. Masons are doing it, but they call it Mason. Hindus, whoever else, you know what I mean, they're doing it. They call it Taoism, yoga, you know what I mean, whatever, tantric, pranic, whatever. Europeans are doing it. They call it New Age. And Negro black colored people, they're just content being Negro black colored people. When everybody is moving toward mental elevation. And it's their own that's holding them back. European has a yoga. He is not concerned about some race war. They're getting themselves spiritually lined up to the best of their ability because they know that they got to work the hardest to reach some spiritual heights. They get themselves locks and all that. Yeah, Islam to all the hip-hop Moors, the real hip-hop Moors, I mean the golden era hip-hop Moors, the 83 to 95 hip-hop Moors. Islam to all, because I was watching Vlad TV and they had CNN on there, that's legends, that's hip-hop. And they had Tragedy Gaddafi on there. Pretty good. Pretty good. Why? Why was it pretty good? Because the cipher is complete now. Because the first knucklehead, Nori, in the CNN album, insert, told the Moors. Nobody reads inserts, they just like covers. Told the Moors in the insert, CNN War Report. Right? Tables turn now. Watch, check the play now. Now on Vlad, right? Nori's cracking jokes on Capone because he got on a dashiki. If you know who Capone is from Capone and Noriega, right? He was, not, but more rugged. Right? That's what it was. He came with the dashiki. And then, black market militia, back, he's like, yo, I mean, that's where it's at. Why? Because Everybody knows about damn Moors. Everybody knows about Noble Drew Ali. Tragedy, I told you guys about his songs or whatever. But ain't nobody listening to them. They want to listen to God Hop. All you stateless people rhyming. All you stateless people. It doesn't matter what you call yourself. Black, African, doesn't matter. We just need unity. How do you have unity when you calling yourself different stuff? How are you going to have unity? Drew Ali brought you to unity. It's called nationality. And everybody in the world knows that that's what it is. And the time right now, yo, know thyself. No card gonna help you. No papers. No call up Cujo. Yo, I have this situation. How do I deal with it? That ain't what this is. This is your birthright. Drew Ali said this is your birthright. So don't say it's like I told you to go out there and do stuff, exercise stuff. Drew Ali told you this is your birthright. And then people are taking the birthright, put it over here, and then talk their black crap to be friends under some rallying, fleecing people. That is unity. Unity amongst thieves. Unity amongst thieves. Right now is you're making a decision. Just trust me, like, I've been in every school of thought. I did candles and all those stuff. I go to people's house and they have, you know what I mean, a spirit in that chills at the house. And we chill with the spirit, just chilling. And other people are coming and spirits walking through people and they get goosebumps. They're like, oh my gosh, look at my hand or whatever. You see that? What? Ghost just ran through you. That's what it is. Time we're living in right now. All that stuff Hemet was talking about and all that stuff, real now. All the rituals and all that stuff that he was doing back then, that wasn't time for that yet, all that stuff is real right now. All that is real right now. Why? Because it's the time of the Moors. And the process of going from being nigger slave to Moorish American is alchemy, which was brought by the Moors. A Moor. This is what we're dealing with right now. That there's no active Moors. Okay? So we don't play this game like, package selling and stuff like that. Like we don't play those ones. Right? A Moor who I know, right? Deal with on the phone, talking on the phone, all that stuff, right? He's L because, that situation called. Said, call all these Moors and the Moorish nation or whatever, because no Moors want to help me or whatever. All right, what situation? Lay the situation down. Bottom line, he's borderline gonna be put in a madhouse because he gave him to knowledge himself, and then his parents think that he's crazy and stuff like that, and they want to put him in a madhouse. So he's like, well, I'm of age. I want to proclaim my nationality, so I can protect myself or whatever. I know what they're gonna do. All right, whatever. Put him on to birthright. There's no situation, whatever. One day got a call, he's in the madhouse. What happened? Yeah, well, they just came from here or whatever. So I just went and, now I'm in the madhouse. Okay. Well, you got going on in the madhouse. You know, nothing, just here, trying to study, what I mean? Do your thing, what I mean? Do your thing. Then heard nothing. No contact. That was February 7th, 2014 was when he contacted me to say that he found out about this thing called writ of habeas corpus in his studying. He wants to know, could he send a writ of habeas corpus on his behalf or whatever. So here's the receipt, so you know that something that was, okay. Here's the receipt. There's one receipt going to David Ostrew. You can look him up. DAVIDOSTROW. Look him up. And then look up Prime Minister Stephen Harper. Right? Registered mail receipt, stamped 2014, 18th of February. Okay. And there's the receipt. Right? And then don't forget, just to, put it on the record. Tax exempt, Colorado L, exemption number 222141, tax. Okay? So, and then here's the writ. The writ sent out. Okay. Here's the writ, pages or whatever. And there's the seal, signed. Okay. Because he's in the jurisdiction of Canaanland, right? He's in so-called British Columbia. So, he's in our jurisdiction. You want to know about Moors? All right, we'll tell you about Moors, teach you about Moors, whatever, you know what I mean? No, you don't pay nothing. You're a youth man. You don't got no job or nothing like that. You don't pay for nothing. Send me DVDs, books, whatever. Build it on Skype and all this type of stuff, right? A real individual, somebody I dealt with. So that was that, and then never heard from him. Never heard anything, right? Until July 8th. Right? So July 8th. Right? Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? So immediately, you know what I mean? Started to get the flags. You know what I mean? The more know to get the flags, you hear certain stuff, make you just stop. You hear partial instead of parcel, you get flags. You know what I mean? So, hey, how you doing? Flags. My new name is Jamaican, Jamaikan, Washita Magician. I'll be in Canaanland soon. I will drop by the temple to see how things are doing, whatever. So my response to him is, where's your El Bay? Like, because, when we did the, writ of habeas corpus, we didn't just do this, because Moore has a situation, and we have the whatever, and this was directly myself and secretary. The secretary, this was what's going down. Have a little meeting. What we're gonna do? Deal with it, all right? Help the brother or whatever. We don't know him from nobody, but help the brother out because that's what we're supposed to do if we're a consulate. Okay. Now, sent to David Ostro, Vancouver Coastal Health Corporate Office, Brian Chung, MD, FRC, PC, and Dr. Sam Iskander, Vancouver General Hospital, Dr. Heather Ole, geriatric psychiatrist and clinical instructor, Peter Chan, clinical associate professor, University of British Columbia, David Cohen, geriatric psychiatrist and clinical associate instructor, Martha Donald, geriatric psychiatrist, head of geriatric psychiatry program, Dan McDonald, and Bonnie Weiss, two more psychiatrists. So, he was in the madhouse, right? So, we get this email that he's now Washington like Drew Ali, and is a nationality, and that Marcus Garvey is a Jamaican, and he's with the Garvey at UNIA, and his great-grandpa is Julius Garvey. His great-great-grandpa is Marcus Garvey as well, and he is wanting his for the cards that didn't work, and that he wants a refund from RV Bay, and that $100 is way too much for $250 is way too much for a Fez. And I'm sitting here like on right now. Really on right now. Because people who are against the prophet, they can't even hide. People who you thought were down with the prophet and all that stuff right now, they can't even hide right now. Because Drew Ali is back into the conversation of consciousness and know thyself and African history and whatever. People are finding out about this man that they never heard about before, and they thought that this was just something, but this is really the return of your birthright. And all these people who claim that they're whatever they call themselves, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter. What you call yourself. It just doesn't matter what you call yourself. You call yourself whatever, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because the white man's, as soon as they start going over there, know that. And it's your own people, as usual, as always, your own people playing European. Metro News. Chef David Wolfman is introducing people to authentic Ojibwe dishes from the You Are Welcome food truck in the Distillery District. He's Ojibwe. He's Ojibwe. Right? This is July 13th paper, second page. Right? So now, he's Ojibwe. He's quote unquote Indian. But he has common sense to put on his tarboosh. And if you look at it, you see that it's decorated, so that's not a chef hat crap like that. They don't got a chef hat with decorations on it. You don't dapper the chef hat. You don't do that. You might wear something different, wear a hairnet or whatever like that. But you're not doing the chef hat like some Masonic feds. So the Ojibwe guy with a food truck has enough common sense. This is out here too, don't forget. This is the Indians out here. Right? Who's laughing at stupid people like Hebrew Israelites going up to rallies and going and doing all types of, you know, Aboriginal whatever stuff with them under some solidarity when that's really their culture. And they know that they're playing foolish. Playing foolish. Because they think everything except more is a nationality. And more is something that the European brought. The European never brought none of these other stuff that they call themselves. European only brought more. All people more. Right? This is these people's mindset. Why, you know, we'll just go at everybody because this is BS. That people have a birthright that's theirs, that can't be sold to them, can't be traded for anything. Nobody could you know what I mean? You know, surprise you with the $500 or $1,500 or whatever for something called your birthright, your nationality. It belongs to the people. You know, people don't want it. Don't get mad when other people pick up your birthright and abuse you with it, because that's the only other reason that it could be used, which is law of opposites, which is law of correspondence, polarity, whatever. If you don't use your birthright, then somebody else is going to use it. If you got your birthright and you don't use it properly, they're going to use it against you with you using your birthright. Because this is deeper than anybody thinks, because they have some videos and they know about Moorish science. But Moorish science isn't some learned stuff. Moorish science is a culture. Moorish science isn't some stuff you go learn at the temple. Moorish science was Noble Drew Ali digging in the ground and pulling up something and saying, hey, you know what this comes from? This comes from 800 million when we used to be here. That's Moorish science. Moorish science is not stuff these guys have in the Arab chamber and they have these titles and, you know, they got their suit on with the little ribbon thing, and then you think that, oh, that guy is official of the whatever because he got the ribbon. Now you get those ribbons for $2. You get a sash for $2. That ain't nothing that they're doing. That's games to fleece people. Make people think that it's not about being who you are. You have to be. You know, and then they're going to quote, you know, imitate the prophet. Well, imitate him wearing no suit. Imitating the prophet put a fez on. Because prophet had a fez, or I had a fez. You know, Noble Drew Ali. Yeah, I have a fez. This is my birthright. The fez been around before Noble Drew Ali. They caught it with items. That's why we said, Bill Cosby be like, it's deeper than you think, or it's deeper than you even think or imagine. Whatever you imagine it to be, when somebody says Moors, Moorish science, Noble Drew Ali, whatever like that, you're wrong. It's not that. It's deeper than that. I don't care how much schools of thought you've been in. If you haven't been in the Moorish schools of thought, you haven't been to any schools of thought. And like we're saying, Dougie Fresh's dad nationalized Moorish American. You think Dougie Fresh doesn't know what's up? His dad's a Moor and he doesn't know what's up. Because he calls himself Doug, you never hear him say El Bay or whatever. You really think like, come on. Let's get real. Let's stop faking. Stop playing games. This is a birthright. This is a birthright, right? And birthrights can be sold. Noble Ali be like, those that overcharge for anything issued by the Prophet are not Moors but robbers. The term Moors was resurrected because of the Prophet. Moors, Fezes. Fezes connected to dark-skinned people in America. Not just the fact that these people are dark-skinned, but that Fez isn't some, you know what I mean, thing that they have that, you know, gives them some stature of a society. This is national headwear. Everybody, this is not some gimmick. This is not a gimmick. This is not like adopting something into a culture. This is something that had come up with the people. Because there's a divine attachment to our nationality and birthright that makes this go beyond where people think this is. That they're going to look at a building every day. Every day. Negro, black, colored people, African American, conscious people, whatever. Every day. They claim they know themselves. Right? And they wouldn't pick up, for example, this on a building and have a revelation. Now you're just walking down the street and then you see this on a building. It doesn't even mean nothing. When this is a modern day hieroglyphic of your culture. To let you know that this is your stuff. And this is in Britain. What do you know about Saracens in Britain? If you ask them what they know about Moors in Britain, you know, Saracens really are. Oh, that brings up a whole history that you didn't even know about. You came over here on slave ship, you didn't know about that part of European history? That you were the royalty over there? You know some Europeans that slave ship story? Saracens in Great Britain. Saracens. And they tell me that they don't know who the Moors are? They don't know who the Moors are, but they have Saracens on a building. And then you know, it's above the Freemasons. So you know that the Saracens are superior. The Masons are subordinate. Right? The Saracen is closer to the top of the pyramid than the Freemason. Just telling people who's the superior, who's the subordinate, who's the sovereign, who's the serf. Culture all around them, they don't even know what's going on. No. When you hear Moors tell you that they're reincarnated Noble Drew Ali, do yourself a favor, leave these people alone. I don't care what type of accolades they got. I don't care what they did. Because I guarantee you that whatever it is they did is tied to the U.S. democracy. Whether they went to Morocco, to, go sit in the big chair at some office of somebody, whether they got 5,000 pictures of them shaking hands with, the heads of a government or whatever, guaranteed they were dealing with democracy. Okay? So we're going to put it out there. So people who is who and what, because too many people come into Moorish movement. One misconcept is that when they open the door to the and they step in, that turbans and fezzes means unity and everything's because everybody's on this side saying that they're Moors. No, there was closed door infiltration on this side. So when you come in, you know that you're coming into infiltration that started the infiltration of the stuff that you were coming in from outside the gate. Because you already know that everything, right? Kill El Hajj, both of them, right? Kill El Hajj's, kill Malik Shabaz's, right? Kill Khalid. Right? Everybody say that they're Moors, right? Muhammad Ali does a little fez stuff and then, mad at him, right? Everybody knows. And when you come into this thing called Moorish movement, better be in tune with what Noble Drew Ali laid down for you. Because the sharks out here, they bite. They swallow. The sharks out here. And we're not talking, run because the Moorish movement was infiltrated. Oh my gosh, we can't deal with it because we've been Moorish Science Temple of America for 7-8 years. We've been Moorish Science Temple of America. Same stuff that got infiltrated. And every time infiltrators try to come in here, their head's cut off as soon as they enter the door. And it's not even, it's Allah, Noble Drew Ali. That's who guides this. We have nothing to do with this. We're the manual laborers. Just a manual laborer. No title and all that stuff. I work for the people. Title don't mean nothing to me. I can't do nothing with Grand Sheik title. I can't go pawn it off over there for. This is the people's title. That I have the jurisdiction of on behalf of them. Only. That's why we could send the stuff for Shaquan, even though he wasn't a member of the temple yet. Because we have an obligation to people who want information and not to sell it to them. And the whole concept of you're not going to find with all the other Moors that are smiling with you, but going in your pockets. Make you spend to have your birthright. And know that they're doing it too. So I'm listening to good brother Cosmo L. Make sure you check out the Cosmo L show. It's on YouTube. Had, I can't remember the name, some sister on there talking about, yeah, reincarnated Noble Drew Ali. I'm like, reincarnated Noble Drew Ali? Like, I just thought, why are you saying it like that? Come to find out that this is another one. This is another one. Because see, the reincarnated prophet successorship is another reincarnated. Right? So the reincarnated that gives up the successorship, it's the another reincarnated, right? In the adult body, right? Timothy Dingle L. United in the Moorish movement founded by Noble Drew Ali, October 9, 1940. He studied under the reincarnated prophet Sheikh John Gibbons L. Brother Dingle L. was ordained in 1953 to bring about peace out of confusion. The state and federal officials, citizens, and members were obtaining a misunderstanding concerning the teachings of the Moorish movement. The nature of our teachings is to teach those things necessary to individuals so they can become good citizens and to elevate individuals' minds from a lower stage to a higher stage in life. Timothy Dingle L. mastered all degrees, lessons in the Moorish movement. Some of them were Supreme National Business Manager, Supreme National and Divine Minister, Supreme Grand Moorish Adept Master, Holy Quran 29th chapter, Supreme Grand Moorish Counselor, Supreme Grand Chief, and Supreme Grand Resurrection. Otherwise, he is an angel from the east, who had the seal of the living God in these modern times. Revelation 7 chapter. It was his effort to demonstrate these degrees to people involved. Now, this is somebody who's saying they're reincarnated prophets. They're so reincarnated, right? They're so reincarnated that the cover of their book is humanity ground, knock the hell out. Him standing in between her and the enemy, so really she's the shield. He's pulling his sword or whatever, right? And talking about the truth of something, when the real demonstration is that humanity's fallen. And you see the footprint in the cares of the world. We're not out of this. That's why they got to him. But that didn't mean he didn't stop doing his job or that he didn't get his job done. Right? So he has his one foot, maybe like a toe or something, in the cares of the world, and one foot on the solid rock of salvation. Okay? Right? He's holding a sister, and the sister has humanity written on her. You know what I mean? And he's holding humanity up because humanity is unconscious. Humanity in a blanked out state of mind. Okay? That's the demonstration. So to plagiarize the demonstration and create this out of it, and then don't forget, talk about, he's an angel from the east and he has a seal of the Revelation 7 and all that type of stuff. Haile Selassie already did that one. You can't even do that one. Like that's Biden. How are you Biden somebody's stuff? Because I know Haile Selassie is the seal of the Trinity, and that was 1930. You didn't come around till 1940. Right? Selassie. And guess what? The dumb Rastafarians, they don't even know that a Moor is tied to jacking Haile Selassie's energy. He was really coronated. The same seal stuff that this guy's talking about. Haile Selassie was really coronated. So the standard should be that. If you're the angel from the east that was talked about in Revelation chapter 7, then there should be some stuff just as big as Haile Selassie stuff to qualify your position. And if there wasn't, clearly you're a fraud. Clearly. And remember, these are the Moors that you get involved with when you come into the gates of the Moorish movement. Because this is its own jurisdiction, superior to any other jurisdiction that liberation of dark-skinned people, melanated, melanoid, whatever you want to call them, dark-skinned people. People who are always complaining, marching, picketing all over the place, Million Man marching for 20 years. Nothing come out of one of these Million Man marches, but you guys ready to go march again. And then he's going to jack the Moorish Science Temple and do it in October. And then Moors are going to be talking about, yeah, let's go to you're going to skip convention to go to hear a black guy talk about something and then tell me you're down with the prophet. Drew Ali told people, there's going to be a handful saved. Handful. With fingers left over. Handful saved. Look out for somebody called Scooter McCrae. That's the grandson of Dingo L. You know, and because I posted this on Facebook with this picture next to it, you know what I mean, just to show that, you know, these guys are running a fraud. You know, the handlers sending their little chihuahuas to come in, you know what I mean? But he couldn't really get at me publicly because Bin blocked him 2014. Years later, guy coming back up again, just like Shaquan. Years later, just pop the head up, out the mole hole. More, dirt on their head. Right? No different than the Moor came, tried to go with Jelani through the back door. Tried to get with Jelani Bey. After, this is an individual who left the temple, talked to some other Moor, Jelani Bey, talked to, even down to talking to the secretary about starting up some department of something so Moors can whatever, and I'm going to let Jelani help me set it up, you know what I mean? So then we can have, you know what, you left the temple, what do you mean then why are you talking to the secretary? How come you're not talking to Grand Chief, nobody, just going direct to the secretary? And the secretary saying, well, yo, call a meeting, you know what I mean? And then we'll sit down and talk, and then nobody's not calling a meeting, you guys be there. And dirty Moors don't want to deal with Grand Chief Cujo. But Cujo, he doesn't like to listen and talks over people. Yeah, because I'm right. I know what I'm talking about. That's why I talk over people. I don't crap. Like, I'm more a scientist. I know what you're going to say before you say it. If you're not die hard more. I can't read active Moors like that. Don't read passive Moors. Incompetent people who think they know themselves. They think that, oh, he didn't do this, he didn't. Prove to me that you're Moors when you got Moors beating stuff like that around here. You have Moors literally telling highwaymen to stop them. I do not have a license. Here's my ID. And them getting dragged out cars and all that stuff, and all that, you know what I mean? They have to sit in a cell for 3 days, right? Solitary, 24 hours, just because weekend and you said that you're a Moor. We got you on Friday, you're staying until Monday. And then get out Monday on his own recognizance in his free national name. That when they initially stopped him, they were trying to use the straw name to get his own recognizance on his free national name. And he's such a criminal. Why is he on his own recognizance? Shouldn't he have a surety, bail, something like that? And you guys just let him out on his own recognizance and went through all that to still come sit down in class on Sunday. So Kudro Islam, all the more Islam. There's Moors who realize that this is their birthright. There's Moors who think this is papers and cards. If you think that this is papers and cards, you got these Moors. Scooter McCrae. To save you. Show you pictures of the prophet, show you constitutions and all that stuff. They have no intentions of saving you. They have intentions of making you their slave. Because that's what's going on too. Slavery. Slavery. For real slavery. From Moors. To Moors that are conscious. That don't want to study. They want easy way out. They want the quick fix. They want the pass, go collect $200. Look at our brother. You see the turban, sash. He's dressed like a Moor. He's from India though, but he's dressed like a Moor. But he's from India, he's dressed like a Moor. You put this next to Morgan Freeman in Robin Hood, he's dressed like a Moor. Yeah, because there was a Mauryan dynasty in India, Hindustan, Peru, Ceylon, Moors. But, another button to look out for is the Muslim Moors. The Moors who would say, Muhammad, peace be unto him, but they would never give peace be unto the Prophet Noble Ali. They never do it. Muhammad gets all their peace and praise and blessing. And Noble Ali, who's the last, which means, he has superior jurisdiction than any other prophet, because he's the last one. Right? The last child is the one that's going to get spoiled, because, you got bigger brothers and stuff that are going to look after him. Every generation. The last is the one that's going to benefit. So you have these Moors. There's a Moor now. Right? Say that they honor Noble Ali, but no peace be unto him. Only peace be unto Muhammad. Because, the Muslim Moors, the exoteric Moors who are on the other side of the religious side, sing hymns to Noble Ali, Christian Moors. We're not talking about the Christian dogma. We're talking about Muslim Moors. The Muslim dogmatized Moors. And then don't forget, you have the Freemason Moors. And the Freemason Moors are the ones that teach Moors from a Freemason perspective. And make it like this is a lodge. And then there's ones make it like and then there's one that make the temple like a mosque. And then the ones that make the temple like, whatever. because that's what this turned into. Some Moorish poppy show of all the different religions, you know, worshiping all the, you know, glory and you know, magnitude of wealth of knowledge from Noble Drew Ali, but they're not honored because they're giving peace be unto Muhammad before they give peace be unto Noble Drew Ali. And they don't even give peace to Ali. And he's the prophet after Muhammad. They agree that that's what's up. They know that they're not Negro black colored, but they're going to be saying Negro stuff like this man in the picture is an Afro-Indian prince. You're Moorish American. You're talking about Afro-Indian princes. Afro-Indian prince. And this is a Moorish American that posted this. But you know, that's the Muslim exoteric Moors. So they can talk crap like that because they don't study law. They study Muslim crap. They study Sunni, Shiite, sects of Islam BS and put a fez on it and say that it's Moorish. We deal with Islamism. That's our religion. Islam's not our religion. Islam is just what Noble Drew Ali used to get a foothold. That's it. Get a foothold. Grafting. Europeans do it all the time. Graft yourself onto history. That's all he did. He grafted himself onto Prophet Muhammad. And he told Moors, when I met Muhammad, I threw the sand up and then the soldiers. So, like, well, if Noble Drew Ali's Prophet Muhammad, then why you keep saying Muhammad? Why you just say Noble Drew Ali? But no, I get it. The Muslim Imam handlers of the Muslim Moors won't let them talk like that. Because, you know, Noble Drew Ali told the Moors, don't let this foreign Muslim up on your rostrum. And foreign meaning bringing that Islam, that Islam into the temple and pushing it like it's Islamism. Islamism is not Islam. They're different. But yeah, Islam to the 22 Moors that are viewing. Peace and love. Now, the handler of the guy who posted the picture, so he sent me a message, private message. You know what? Yeah, see what you're saying more. You know what I mean? You know, I thought I was crazy or whatever. You know what I mean? But you seem crazy as me or whatever. So, you know, we can get down. Like, you know what I mean? Ain't no issue between us or nothing like that. So, no issue. You'll talk to your boy. I mean, your boy's tripping. Talking about Afro stuff. Talking about since Moorish are synonymous, he's Moorish African American. And then he's saying, and he's posting that that's what his nationality is, Moorish African American. Talk to your boy. It's like, yeah, I mean, he's not getting it from the right perspective, you know what I mean? He's still young in this, blah, 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 whatever, you know? Tell me all this stuff. Smooth over, you know what I mean? The little rift that might be had a European concept, you know what I mean, of what this is, you know what I mean? And the transition. Excuse him, you know what I mean? But, you know, keep dropping that scimitar or whatever. Keep doing your thing more because, you know, you need more like you and, you know, whatever, you know, smooth over, you know, get the peanut butter on there looking real good, you know what I mean, for the commercial, right? Handler comes today now. Now, yesterday, you know what I mean, like, you know, everything's cool. I mean, just like Dingo L, like Scooter. You know what I mean? Scooter, 2014, Yo, Cujo, man, respect. Respect, man. You're doing so much for the Moors, and then now, you know, what's up? Oh, you guys are losing fiat because people aren't coming to you guys no more for crap. You guys are losing membership because people are realizing that, hold on a second. Part and partial. I got this law dictionary for the first time. I've been in the temple 50 years. In this law dictionary, there's no word called partial in here. There's a word called parcel, though. Hey, but those Moors, the Moors who the temple we go to, they said, don't talk to those Moors over there because, those Moors are the renegade Moors and, they get arrested but they never told me look up improper persona. How come my temple's, not? And instead of people getting mad and strangling these individuals, they just leave, and find some other group of Moors. And our hopes is that, when people run into dirty Moors, that's discouraged. You know what I mean? Don't think that, it's all over because we got you for 1,500. No, there's Moors who did 30 days in solitary for the Moorish movement. They got out and all their stuff is expunged. No, you're not going to find no record of that. Because if there's a record of that, then the purpose of you to go get the record system. Because you would realize that, hey, this Moor went to court tickets. And then when he went to court for tickets that he's supposed to do jail time for, he did the jail time, but then when he came out, all of his stuff disappeared. But there's no record of that. But he told me the paper that they gave him when they released him from there. But there's no record of his case in this court. Now you're not going to think something's up with that. You're just going to think Moors full of crap. You know what I mean? They never beat nothing. That stuff doesn't work or whatever like that. When you check the record, oh, there's no record there. That doesn't raise a flag that there's no record. So handler comes up. You're not a Muslim. This is the handler of the dispost. You're not a handler. You're not a Muslim. You're a kafir, straight up. You Moors are made up anyway. A pseudo Taj Tariq sovereignty class, and not even a part of the Prophet's trust. I don't see none of y'all names in Cooks County. You're a fake and don't know the Prophet. Right? Cook County could, because nobody already said we are a nation. So you don't have to file anything in goddamn Cooks County for some authority. There's no goddamn trust that's sitting in some Cooks County office that you can get your name on so you can do this, discharging of debts with a trust from the Moorish Science Temple and strawman. Yes. Doesn't exist. It's a fraud. If you would go check, just go check Cooks County, Noble Drew Ali's, and why European corporations are on that. Why is European corporations on Noble Drew Ali's trust? That, supposed to be set up. Don't ask me, because, we already told Moors. You don't have no reins on active Moors. This is our birthright. We don't need some authority, whatever, from somebody who says they're supreme something to be Moors and to say Noble Drew Ali and to get Quran and 101 questionnaires. We don't need no to give that up. That's public record information. that's supposed to be accessible to anybody. Just like we can get that free newspaper, they got people standing there just giving them out. Good morning, good morning, good morning. That's all they do. Give out free paper all day. Same thing we do with Quran. Ask any Moor who came to the Moorish Science Temple. Not our stuff we hold back from people. The same Moors came and posted their unity crap, right? Because, they're down with that all Muhammad BS. They're going to put some banner from the Turks. They claim it's from the Turks before the Moorish flag. When Noble Drew Ali never put any flag before the Moorish flag. Moorish flag was always first. Why? Because it's the supreme. They want to talk about Turks. Turks are Moors, so let's fly the Turkish flag. If Turks are Moors, why don't you just fly the Moroccan flag if Turks are Moors? BS. Don't fall for their BS, right? Moors selling crap, $24.99. They got me for my $24.99. I still never got no slippers. This is 2013. 2015 now, 2 years, still no slippers. But they got my $24.99. I mean, watch out for these Moors. If you're claiming that you're coming into this Moorish movement, you're up against. But this is not no game over here, right? No game. So let's get to the meat of today, because we got the junk out the way. We've been told we're Moors. It's always been right in our face. And why? Because we have a black mindset. We don't see it. That's why we call this one think, but you better not think black. Because if you think black, you're going to miss all the clues that are given to you. As soon as you think black, as soon as you think black power instead of more power, you just stunted yourself. As soon as you say black Asiatic, black woman, black man, you already stopped yourself from being able to think. Just try it. Say more for everything that black for relative to people, right? Relative to human beings. Anything as far as black, dark, whatever, change all that and say more and see what happens. So we want to put on the record, right, that you have been told, but it's been in front of your face and couldn't see it. So we're going to use a concept from the slave culture, the nigger culture that they know, in order to teach you about Moors. Because clearly you're not getting the message as to what's going on. So we're familiar with the lady who makes the best soap ever. Cow foot stew, oxtail, barbecue, fried chicken, chitterlings, Big Mama. You know about Big Mama. About Big Mama. Well, you know Big Mamas are more. Right, we're going to get there. You just want to refresh your memory. Right? Want to refresh your memory of Big Mama. kitchen, always sweating over the stove for the white man. Because the white man's God, but you know, he calls me nigger, but oh, he loves my chitterlings. He loves my oxtail and my seasoned foot. He loves my baby back ribs. He loves everything that I make. He lets me take children. But I'm a nigger though. I'm the worst nigger there is. I'm so fat and ugly all the time. I always have this frown on my face. I always got these big eyes. Something deeper going on. You always put her in that position. You always put her in that place. Right? You always put her in. The most famous black man, we all already know. Most famous black man. You already know the most famous black man. Okay. But damn, those some white ass socks for a slave. That's a real white apron. You know, it's kind of funny that you got jewelry box and perfume. You got bangles on your wrists and stuff like that. That doesn't look like Big Mama. That doesn't look like Big Mama. What are you doing with jewelry box and stuff if you're the slave? Where do you get big pendants like if you're a slave? You've been played by our own. While originating in the slave period, the Mammy figure rose to prominence during the Reconstruction era. During the Reconstruction era. Ones already know about the Reconstruction era. If you don't know, you better go research it. And think. Reconstruction era. They're reconstructing. And if you think, you'll figure out what the hell they're doing. Especially after we finish. While originating in the slave period, the Mammy figure rose to prominence during the Reconstruction era. In the southern United States, the Mammy played a role in historical revisionism efforts to reinterpret and legitimize the legacy of chattel slavery and racial oppression. Mammy is usually portrayed as an older woman, overweight, and dark-skinned. She was an idealized figure of a caregiver, amiable, loyal, maternal, non-threatening, obedient, and submissive. The Mammy figure demonstrated difference to white authority. In occasion, the Mammy was also depicted as a sassy woman. She was devoted to her owners, employers, and her primary goal of life was to care for their needs. Some portrayals had the Mammy have a family of her own, but her caregiving duties would always come first, leading the Mammy being portrayed as a neglectful parent or grandparent. The Mammy was occasionally depicted as a religious woman. More often than not, the Mammy was an asexual figure, devoid of any personal desires that might help her to sin. Do you know what Mammy is? Mammy, black slave woman, works in the kitchen, nurses babies. She is called Mammy because she's a wet nurse. And then when the children are no longer needed breastfeeding, she becomes the cook. And she gets heavyset because she's a cook. And the white people want her to feed them lots of salt because they've got different kidney setups than she does. from her Central African background. And boy, Mammy usually is over, but what a good cook. She's my Mammy. There is sentimentalism in it. There's an ugly stereotyping. Big fat lips on the Mammy. Big white rolling eyeballs on the Mammy. Big bosom on the Mammy. But there's also the love of the Mammy. The Mammy who, even when the girl becomes older, it's Mammy she goes to, not her mother. Because her mother was a society bitch who was like really rich. And who like dressed slim and wouldn't breastfeed her because it might make her breast fall off. So she had the Mammy. And of course, like any little mammal, because we are mammals, the little girl bonds to the Mammy. The earliest of the Mammy statutes are called Aunt Chloe, figures after the wife of the little character in the 18th anti-slave novel Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. Pairs of ceramic Uncle Tom and Aunt Chloe figures used to be made for mantelpiece decor. Aunt Chloe was a cook, and she usually depicted with a food basket. Uncle Tom and Aunt Chloe figures were popular in other nations as well as the United States. Due to the wide popularity of the book Uncle Tom's Cabin, which was said to be, at the time, to be the most important convincer to people that slavery was wrong, even after slavery officially ended in America in 1863, the book remained a consistent seller and gave rise to numerous stage play productions. As late as the 1930s, these plays were still being quoted in movies and had nothing to do with slavery or its history, but were instead fictions about theatrical life. Even Shirley Temple did a turn as Little Diva in a play within the play segment of the 1936 movie Dimples. Now, what made this even come up is because doing research, as Moors do, we find things. Because, you know, and you're a thinker, things are going to catch your eye. Things are going to catch your mind. That's going to make you stop and consider, ponder on what you just read or whatever, right? So, doing the research, and this name is just, you know, totally like, why is this so familiar? I know I never read Uncle Tom's Cabin. You know, I know that. Why is this so familiar? And then it came to me, right? This lady, Cleo, who was the fraud that was doing fortune telling, things relative to, you know, occult witchcraft and stuff like that. So I'm going through all these things and I'm realizing, damn, got the turban on. I mean, like, all the pictures, she has the turban. The turban, right? So upon going through with that, found out about Mama Molly. Mama Molly. Mollie. She died in the 1850s at the home of the quote-unquote white Florida family she served. A family member described her as nursing nearly all of the children in the family, and that they loved her as a second mother. And this was the confirmation that thing that I'm, you know, inspired to look into goes way deeper, and, you know, trust that the ancestors and the Orishas, you know, I mean the the sacred beings were present so that we could confirm that the perspective that they have of our people, that we are these Negroes, niggers that didn't have any knowledge of anything, and we lost our culture because we were on vacation or whatever like that. All that is a fraud. Because there's no way European, and we talk about this in Why Did the Slaves Follow the North Star class, which was the opening for Brother Alim Bey when we brought him here to do a lecture. Because, we only get down with certain mornings. Right? And we were talking about how, Harriet Tubman had knowledge of Zodiac, if she's going to be following the North Star. And that's something in her tradition that's passed down to her. And the North Star has nothing to do with the continent, so why about it, like over here? But they have no culture or whatever, right? So doing this research, we come into a man by the name of Harry Roseland. Harry Roseland, Roseland, Roseland. The fusion of the Mammy and the was the accidental byproduct of the artistry of one man, Harry Roseland, a genre painter who portrayed the elderly fortune teller in Brooklyn who happened to read for folks out of her home. That is, in her living room and in her kitchen, in front of her fireplaces. The images of the professional reader in her parlor were discarded in time, but the images of her reading for clients and mixing up rootwork remedies in her kitchen became fused with the kitchen-bound Mammy in the popular mind and led to the visual trop of the Mammy as a reader. So this concept that Mammy, this concept of Mammy comes from the oracle, right? This concept, this Mammy concept, right? Because the story is always in our face, right? Lady in the kitchen. Lady in the kitchen. Taking care of the children. That's never her own. Mammy is really a witch. Mammy is really a fortune teller. Mommy is really a witch doctor. We've been played by our own into thinking that we were off, we were really exercising our spiritual sense. When we go through some of these images, you're going to realize that the concept that the slave was, the subordinate and whatever like that is going to be not even considered, because this has to do with people recognizing, especially Europeans, recognizing that the custom is talk to the oracle. You headache or whatever, the lady with the shop down there, she's the one that you go to. People in the islands know what I'm talking about. Because everybody knows there was that one lady who had all the bottles of whatever, and she'll cure you of anything just because you know that it exists. What we want people to realize is that European doesn't hate you. Right? So this is one of Harry Rosen's drawings. Now, keep in mind that right here is cards. Okay? Cartomancy is fortune telling or divination using a deck of cards. It is one of the oldest forms of fortune telling and is the tarot. Cartomancy, using standard playing cards, was the most popular form of providing fortune telling card readings in the 18th and 19th century. The tradition of playing cards went from Asia to Egypt, then to North Africa and Europe. Theory has it that the Arab Moors introduced the cards to the Spaniards in 1379. In Spain, the people called cards nabi, which means to foretell. Who is Lamadama? Lamadama. And why do white women who are playing in Afro-Cuban religious magic suddenly want status for her? Lamadama represents a middle-aged, heavy-set woman of African descent, dressed in 19th century clothes as a domestic houseworker, cook, or servant. In America, these statues and they carry a lot of racist baggage with them. The many modern whites, it probably seems safer to call them Lamadama and to pretend that they have a black Cuban madame in their spiritual court than to say attracted to the spirit of an old-time slavery era Mammy. So he's depicting all these pictures he's drawing all this stuff with the so-called black Mammy, but she's not on some black Mammying right now. She's on some fortune telling. And Europeans go into her. Who's the subordinate and who's the superior? Right? Don't say that they don't know. You can't say that they never told you. But, you know, why would you look up Harry Rosalind? You know? And again, this is not Cujo. This is more active Moors who study, right? Research, share information, and, you know, don't do this for props. This is not my research, that they don't, you know what I mean? They're not into presenting. But they said it would be something good to do for class. Just to show people. Ain't no such thing as black Mammy, which kills the slave era again. Just another way to beat up on the slavery stuff, that slavery stuff is fake. Because this looks like a slavery scene. But they're not doing slavery stuff. She's doing cartomancy. How does a slave know about divination using a deck of cards? How? How does a slave know that? How does a slave know that? Right? How? A slave knows that there's this idea of using cards. A writer of the latter part of the 15th century says that cards were first known at Viterbo in 1379 and that they had been introduced to the Saracens, who, with the Arabs and the Moors, have the credit of planting the seed of cartomancy in Spain. It is certain that at first cards were called by the name Nabi, and the Hebrew and Arabic words Nabi, Naba, Naba signify to foretell. It is also widely believed that the idea of playing games with cards was an afterthought and that their original purpose was for the practice of divination. Okay? Right? And then one of the Moors brought to my attention, don't forget Whoopi Goldberg played one of those parts too. The oracle fortune teller. Right? Okay. Aunt Jemima doing divination cards. You know, pancake crap. It's really witchcraft. Black Mammy was into the witchcraft, the high science, know about Baphomet, all that. Mammy. And even though she was a fortune teller and drew pentagrams on the ground and all that stuff, Europeans still let her nurse the children. Isn't that kind of interesting? Isn't it kind of interesting? Okay, well, you know, it's kind of interesting that, you know, fortune telling, right? Cartomancy, okay? Crystal balls and all this type of stuff. It's real crazy that that's devil worship, but the Mammy, who was practicing the devil stuff, was taking care of the Europeans' children who thought that stuff was devil worship. That's why Drew Ali said, think and save yourself. Think and save yourself. You don't need half of these clowns out here selling me your birthright. I'm going to tell you about some truth that you've been, you know, you've been dissing the Aunt Jemima pancakes all these years because that's some slave, you know what I mean? You know, make black people look bad, whatever, when she's goddamn oracle. And everybody eats Aunt Jemima pancakes because her pancakes are the bomb. Why? Because she has the freaking secret touch, right? That you're gonna go to some vegan spot and you're gonna eat there, just had some baked chicken with fish and stuff like that. When all you had was vegetables. But the science. Why they keep talking about her being a cook? Because cooking is a science. Ask anybody who's a chef. Yeah, we put together some stuff and it tastes good. But cooking, that's a science. And you don't even have that nowadays. Because, the oracle didn't have nobody to pass stuff down to. Because, Susie thought that she was woman or whatever. She was moving out at 18 or whatever like that. Because she was a woman and all that. You know. And then the child that she has, even though the child's around grandma 80% of the time, because, 18-year-old who thought she was a woman or whatever like that, got pregnant and all this type of stuff. Now, here's grandma with all this info and can't even give it to the child because the child can't even comprehend whatever. And we're looking at, again, the degradation of Aunt Mammy, who was the oracle. And, she's got to be an oracle. Don't think that because, everybody's up there, just like, don't think everybody in Fezes means that those are good. Don't get fooled. You know what I mean? There's mammies who aren't really there. You don't want to take your child to them. Mammy's tripping. Right? So make sure, keep in mind that you remember at all times that the Mammy caricature was really a witch doctor. It was a witch with the turban on all the time. And she was practicing high sciences. High science. Don't even have to look. Close your eyes and tell you, walk down that path, make a left, and then walk straight, and then make a right, and then you're going to see a bush. Pick that bush and bring it back here for me. And you bring the bush back, say, not that bush. The one next to that one. Right? That's how grandmas get down in the islands. We're cough syrup, buckwheat, crap like that. Go pick something out there. Bring it back for me and drink this. Hold your nose. Drink that. Better. Instantly. High science. And like they said, come from the Moors. So don't even get it twisted that, it's something else. Came from the Moors. Right? You want to throw this one out for all the tea Moors. This goes on to all the tea Moors that drink their tea. You know what I mean? We're going to take tea to another level right now. For all the tea Moors. All the Moors that drink tea. Right, we're going to take tea. Our tea drinking. Accelerate. Now you're going to know why you're so attached to drinking tea. Not just because you like peppermint and mint and, you know what I mean? 5 fruit blend of the whatever. Science. More science. Tea. Remember when Iverson had a practice? Talk about practice. Okay. Put that concept, tea. This is how deep tea is. Why the Moors were merchants of tea. Like, why tea? Why spices? Tea and spices. That was the common theme of the things that the Moors would, have barrels and whatever of, just overflowing, just barrels of spices. Just barrels of spices? You got spices like that? Spice trade is like that? Yeah, because, you know, spice is natural. You could grow that. Tea. Tasseomancy. Tasseomancy is a divination or fortune-telling method that interprets patterns in tea leaves, coffee grounds, or sediments. The term derived from the French word tasse, cup, which in turn derives from the cognate Arabic word tassa and the Greek suffixes graph, writing, logi, study of, and mancy, divination. Divination attempts to gain insight into the natural world through intuitive interpretation of synchronistic events. So synchronicity is key in divination. So if you realize that certain things are happening and you come to the realization that, wow, things are really in sync right now, no, that's divination. And that's not happening for no reason that things are in sync. Things are in sync because you're in the lane, and once you're in the lane, everything locks up. Right? The Encyclopedia of Occult and Parapsychology, 5th edition, volume 2, edition by J. Jordan Melton, notes, after a cup of tea has been poured, without using a tea strainer, the tea is drunk or poured away. The cup should then be shaken well, and any remaining liquid drained off in the saucer. The diviner now looks at the pattern of the tea leaf cup and allows the imagination to play around with the shapes suggested by them. They might look like a letter, a heart shape, or a ring. These shapes are then interpreted intuitively or by means of a very standard system of symbolism, such as snake is enmity or falsehood, spade is good fortune through industry, mountain is journey of hindrance, or house, which is change or success. Although many people prefer a simple white cup for tea leaf reading, there is also traditions concerning the positional placement of the leaves in the cup, and some find it easier to work with marked cups. So this is for tea, this is a marked cup, right? This is a marked cup for tea leaf reading. And just let your imagination go on this cup. And you having tea in this cup, and when you finish your drink, you leave it at the bottom with the leaves, you give it a shake, you pour off the water, and wherever the residue or the tea leaves are from the cup, that's your reading. Right? Although beginning in the 19th century and continuing to the present, English and American potteries have produced specially decorated cup and saucer sets for the use of tea leaf readers. Three most common types of fortune tellers cups. Zodiac cups. These sets contain zodiacal and planetary symbols. Typically, the cup contains the planetary symbols, while the saucer has the astrological sign symbols, but there are many variations and exceptions to the common pattern. The placement of these symbols allows the reader to combine astrology with tassography. Playing card cups. These cups carry with their interiors tiny images of a deck of scattered cards, either 52 cards plus a joker, as in a poker pack, or 32 cards, as in a euchre deck. Some sets also have few cards imprinted on saucers, or the saucers may contain brief written card interpretations. The playing cards permit the reader to creatively relate cartomancy to tasseography. Symbol cups. These sets are decorated with between a dozen and 50 of the most common cues that can be found in tea leaves, often numbered for easy reference and supplied with an explanatory booklet. The symbols are generally displayed inside the cups, but there are also sets in which they decorate the outside or appear in the cups on the saucers. Alchemy thrived in Moorish Spain, where from the 12th century on it spread. Of fig leaves, tasseomancy, and tasseography, the patterns of tea leaves in the cup, Encyclopedia of Magic and Alchemy. Yeah. This one was pretty crazy because we have something else of destiny, and you just have to wonder, the cup of destiny. And we have the clock. And then, circle 7. Right? The 7 points on the star. And the book's called Cup of Destiny. But there's 7 points on the star in a circle. But this is about some teacup reading whatever. But they got a circle with a star in it that has 7 points. So the 7 is in the circle. And the book is called The Cup of Destiny. And there's a book that we have called Clock of Destiny, with a circle and a 7 on the front. Just a thought. Just a thought. You should brew the tea to be read using loose tea leaves in a wide brim white teacup. Not black teacup. Without using a strainer or tea bag. As the person whose tea leaves are to be read drinks the tea, he or she should focus on a specific question they would like to ask of the tea leaves. So you're talking to tea leaves now, right? If you think that them thinking that, you honor Noble Drew Ali and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And, you have this hat on. Where you get that hat? What do you mean that you're not black and all that stuff? Wait till you start going to their house drinking tea and you start giving them some divination of what happened in, their life that they neglected to deal with based on you giving them some, tea leaf reading, fortune telling. This is a science. Tea leaf reading. And again, like, you can't hate the freaking white man. You can't hate him. He gave you your stuff. You're too dumb following dumb Negroes. That's why you don't know what the hell is going on in the world. Are you busy listening to Negroes who sold out? And their job is to get you not to know about nationality and birthrights. And if you are in support of nationality and birthrights, to get you to, go through something that's going to make you not be part of your national birthright, which you can't be. You got to be part of this. This is your nationality and birthrights. Your foot can't be not part of your body. It's your foot. Your foot. Your personal foot. You're not a Barbie. You pop foot off. I just use one foot today because, you know what I mean? Your culture. Right? Goddamn tea leaf reading. Mammy. Mammy a European doing these drawings of Mammy doing a tea leaf reading. And Europeans sitting there like really taking it in. She's not on some hatred or looking at her on some derogatory mammy, whatever. Look at this European's posture. So I say, stop playing around, because you guys not going to kill crackers anyways. You're not going to kill no crackers. They'll play stupid games, pull their flag off their house and stuff like that. That'd be dumb stuff like that. You might just buy a new flag. Like, what's the big deal? You pull the flag down. Who cares? Why don't you kill a cracker? Nah, you're not going to do that. Because that's your guys' God. Right? The Negro God is the European. And then we're showing you that the European's God is the Asiatic Moorish oracle, Big Mama. That's her God. She's not even praying. She's going to Big Mama. She's not even going to Jesus. She's going to let Big Mama read the leaves in the teacup to find out what she should do with her life. Teacup reading. Look at these Europeans around this Asiatic oracle. She's not a black woman, slave woman. Which European's going to be sitting around a slave, listening to slave read leaves in a teacup? Look at the European's posture. Right? You know a sign of body language leaning toward the presentation is interest. That's body language science. It doesn't matter what it is. You know what I mean? Sister, like, no, as soon as the brother leans forward in the conversation, you know it's interest. That's a science. Body language. Right? The science. Look at the interest. A European has so much interest in some black lady reading some teacup leaves. Because she's not a black lady. She's a damn oracle. She's a witch doctor. She's a high priestess. And Europeans honoring her in her old age. And she probably been reading cups ever since she was a teenager. Because it's a culture. That's why Noble Jolly told the Moors, adepts are born, not made. You can't make somebody learn to read tea leaves in teacup. You can't make somebody do that. You can't make somebody be intuitive. That's culture. That's something passed down. They honor us as Moors. They don't honor niggers. They don't honor African Americans. They don't honor conscious coons, shucking and jiving. They don't honor dirty Moors. Speaking about that, Islam to our good brother, Lanre Obey, who Allah jumped in the judge in his case that he's been dealing with for the past year or whatever, and threw everything out. Allah literally jumped into the judge. According to what the Moors say, right, that we're there. I don't know what happened. All we know is that the judge just stopped everything and threw out everything. Told the Moors, told the prosecutor rather, that those guys' ID that they gave you is legitimate ID. You can't tell them that's not their ID. That's their legitimate ID. All it has to do is have a picture on it, a name on it, and a mailing location. And that's an ID. Told the prosecutor. No, you know, for all those people, that doesn't work. What more do you want? The judge told the prosecutor, lock it up. After dealing with it for a year, with all these different judges, and different, you know, same judge, just one time, you know what I mean? Head prosecutor's not there. You know, some assistant sitting in. Assistant sitting in. Some stuff you've been dealing with for the past year, and all of a sudden, the day that the stuff gets withdrawn, head prosecutor's not there, somebody else is doing it. This is all the same drawings from the same man, right? Tea leaf reading. Look at the interest of the European. That's mainly what I printed these off. Forget Mammy. We already know she's Oracle. Look at the interest of the Europeans into what Mammy's pushing. Right? Look at the Europeans' interest. The tea leaf reading. And then now put the science of this tea leaf reading. Now put that in your mind and go to when we talk about Timbuktu and we talk about Moroccan Empire and we talk about Phoenicians, and we know that people drank tea since forever. People drank tea. And think about the concept that we never knew, never even thought about reading tea leaves in the teacup. There's a frequency in tea leaves that you could, you know what I mean, like get some tea leaves. No ashes or nothing like that. Just drink some tea, the tea leaves, and then you get the cup with the stuff in it and whatever, and you could really foretell certain things. Some real more sciences. Right? They even had to address the nature of the Europeans. Islam to the 29 viewers, peace, love, and hotep. The way that the Europeans are so forthcoming, right? You know, just like we're reading, the imagery of the ugly and the fat and the obese and the whatever, that's front. That's not really what it is. We're talking about a grandma. We're talking about a grandma. Anybody's grandma. You just find somebody's grandma, she has the look of the oracle. Everybody's grandma. You see her sitting at her table in the kitchen or whatever it is, you know that that is the oracle. Right? If you look more closely at this image, which I will show you, you will also notice the client's intimate and childlike petting of the Mammy's wrist. This is an obvious gestural signal to the viewer that the two women know and love one another, and that the older woman was once the younger's caretaker. We are no longer being shown glimpses into the professional practice of an independent Black American fortune teller or spiritual root doctor who is consulted by a white female client. Rather, What we see is an intimate and happy domestic moment shared between a household slave or servant and the young girl who grew up under her care and is now embarking on an expectant adulthood. The mammy in the kitchen performs the function of the diviner for the child she raised, does so in a loving, maternal manner, and only brings good tidings to the girl. Only brings good tidings. And again, domestic moment shared between the household slave and the young girl. Why are they going to the household slave to go get teacup reading? You don't have some European, you know what I mean, witch that you can go to for that? So obviously she's not a slave. There's no, slaves are the beasts of the field. Slaves are lower than the beast. Slaves are so low, we could just tie him to the truck. We could cut her stomach open, stomp on her babies. We could tie them, rip them apart and all that stuff. But they're so evil. You know, their skin so black, ew, their hair so coarse. Like, but then you have your children being brought up by these people who you're lynching and all this type of stuff. You have your child breastfeeding. So Mammy gets pregnant and has a child. And then mom gets pregnant with the same child. And then Mammy's child eats whenever, because you got melanin and you need, fat born fasting, right? European who, struggling on the breast. That's not the mom. Tell me that lady's a slave? You think that lady's a slave, then that means nothing for you, man. So, Lama Dama, occult Cuban oracle, Mammy, and Jemima, all of them are the same. The elder, the oracle, the grandma, who used to read teacup leaves and used to have a crystal ball. Right? And then what they say in the history, Wujwali was a gypsy, right? And then people look at it like, oh, he's a gypsy, because, he's a wanderer. No, he's a gypsy because he had crystal ball and shit like that. He's a gypsy because, he had the power of Allah running through him. And all the dumb Negroes who saw his light and didn't want to accept the reality of the light stayed in darkness. The light's back on. You want to say honors for all the Moors that are standing up for their birthright. Because nobody in the Moorish movement, and I'm telling you as a grand governor, grand chief, nobody owns your birthright. This is your birthright. You have a right to this thing called Moorish nationality. This is not something that somebody called grand whatever could give you. This is your birthright. This is your birthright. Say it. This is my birthright. This is my nationality. And if you want to join a temple, go right ahead. Please join the Moorish Science Temple of America so you can learn to be better citizens. Not learn to sing hymns about Noble Jwali. Not learn to decipher between the Quran with the blue circle and then the red circle, and then, that one's not really the one because that one with the red circle is the red is for the flag with the... Don't even listen to these crazy Moors. Don't even listen to that. This is your birthright. right? This is your birthright. Cannot be sold, traded, bartered, nothing like that. This is your birthright. Make sure, check out that willofallah.com. And don't forget, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on Blog Talk Radio. Call-in number 347-945-5899. 347-945-5899. talkradio.com/MHHS hyphen eyes wide open. 9:30 p.m. Islam to all the Moors. Peace, love, and hotep. You already know that. Love you all. Doing what we got to do to get the people to understand the truth about their nationality and birthright. That's it. We're not here to rob people. We're not here to give you legal advice, crap like that. We're here for you to study your birthright. Islam to all the Moors, active Moors, Prophet-defending Moors, and Islam to all the Moors that tune into Canaanland Moors. Peace and love to you all. We'll just close out with our prayer, our Moorish American prayer. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Ashe, Islamism. Peace, Moors, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.